because people are bargaining.
It was on Marty.
All right. Peace, blessings, enough, whole heap, plenty, a lot of love to all our global kings and queens. I do hope that everyone had a wonderful or have a wonderful week thus far. We are winding down, wrapping up to the final of the week that we have. And we are already um, on the 6th day of the week. So we are looking into the weekend. So thank you very much for joining us here on Deep Dive, Globally Changing Lives. And so at this time, we are going to, of course, start out with our theme song. And of course, our theme song is In It to Win It by our one and only international recording artist, Lerato Shadari. And so please watch the video that is complementing the song and continue to stay tuned.
Your next stop is on Passive.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
All right. Thank you very much, Queen Lerato Shadari. Really, really do appreciate. And moving right along, we are going to slip right into our mindset presentation. And this will be done by none other than Queen Jacqueline Warner, entrepreneur long before, grandmother of 9. Can you imagine? My goodness. Um, operate our own international talk show, host as a international talk show, and wonderful person, a person that I come to know and love. And so I just want to thank Queen Jacqueline Warner for all that she do, all that she's doing, and I'm sure all that she will continue to do here on Deep Dive, globally changing lives. And so she's going to go into a little health, and she's looking specifically at diabetes. And so, over to you, Queen Jacqueline Warner.
Thank you so much, King Dr. Derek. It's a pleasure to even be here on on our platform. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I thank you for allowing me to even grow here on this amazing platform, and I am so grateful. Thank you so much. And I know our Heavenly Father made it all possible because it wasn't for him, all of this wouldn't take place. And we're going to say thanks to also Mr. Ash Mafara for taking us along on this amazing journey. And most of all, thank you to all the brand ambassadors / affiliates. I welcome each and every one of you. I thank you for your support. I thank you for showing up because you know what? Success is 90% when you show up. So just keep on showing up and God will do the rest. Yes, so tonight I'm going to be talking about diabetes because it's I won't say it's an epidemic, but it's a major illness that a lot of people suffer from. And some do very well. I can't talk, I talked to my girlfriend the other day and she said, "Oh, my mom had diabetes for years and she's doing what the doctor told her to do." I said, "Well, she doesn't even look like she has diabetes, but it's not a look. It's a more inner issue that going on within our bodies. And it just breaks it down slowly but surely. But there is ways to overcome. So tonight we're going to learn a little bit about the symptoms of diabetes, the types of diabetes, the causes of diabetes, the medication that may cause diabetes, and your normal glucose range and how to check your levels and all that good stuff, and natural remedies, things to avoid, preventions, you know. And of course, then we conclude. But according to the WHO Foundation, I will say 4.2 million deaths alone in 2019. So don't talk about we're in 2025. Most likely, that number has risen. I just have my apostle, his sister just passed on Sunday, and she was a diabetic. She already had lost both of her limbs. And she had the orthopedic legs, but even that was difficult for her, as you see her sometimes come to church just to get up the stairs. It wasn't normal anymore. Her steps wasn't any normal. But may her soul rest in awesome peace. And to let us know that diabetes is no joke, that we got to take care of ourselves. And no matter if we are diagnosed, one thing I could depend on and one thing I could stand firm and believe on, that God himself said the herbs is for the healing of the nation, and no one should have to die of diabetes. But when you don't know better, sometimes you can't do better. And the doctors is only going to tell you what they're trained and known for you to do. And that's why some webinars back saying you must have a holistic doctor along with a medical doctor. God wouldn't put the herbs and didn't put someone to teach us about the herbs and how to take them and what to be cautious about and what to avoid. He wouldn't have wasted his time. And so we got to always look for the alternative, other options. And let me try this. You know, I worked in a clinic, and when the patients come, and maybe I shouldn't have even said that, but I will tell them, you've been a diabetic for 5 years. Where is the healing? You end up on dialysis. I worked in wound care. Those people, wounds get so bad. You get ulcers on their feet. Then they start turning colors and all. Oh my God. It's not even worth talking about. It's so gross, you know, to some people will suffer when there's healing. I could see if there was no healing, but you're taking medication all your life and still you end up to this drastic end, a horrific end. God didn't make it that way. That's why the herbs is for the healing of the nation, and always look for options. Never take, that's it. No. Anyway, so diabetes is actually a chronic health condition that affects how the body turns food into energy. It is characterized by elevated blood sugar levels, which can lead to serious health problems or health complication if not managed properly. Diabetes occurs when the body either doesn't produce enough insulin or cannot effectively use the insulin it produces. So you see, it's the pancreas. Okay, there where the problem is. There's an issue there. Now, type of diabetes. There's 4 types. The first type is type 1 diabetes. That's an autoimmune condition where the body attacks insulin producing cells in the pancreas, leading to little or no insulin production. It typically develops in childhood or adolescence. And I work in a health department. You know, they deal with the schools and getting immunization and so forth. And I work with a nurse in the nurse's office, and you could see children coming with their insulin to take throughout their time in school. Children, little children taking insulin. Okay. The second one is type 2 diabetes. Now, this is the most common one. This is the most common form of diabetes where the body becomes resistant to the insulin or doesn't produce enough insulin to maintain normal glucose levels. It is often associated with lifestyle factors such as our diet, physical inactivity, and obesity. So you see again, diet also play a role in type 2 diabetes. Not saying it doesn't play a role in type 1, but type 2, that's the main factors. Gestational diabetes now occurs during pregnancy when hormonal changes cause insulin resistance. It usually resolves after childbirth, but it increases the risk of developing type 2 diabetes later on in life. So that's for, pregnant moms who go through that, usually hypertension, that when you're pregnant, all these things tend to just show up. But they can be monitored and taken care of before it escalates to bigger issues, you know. And number 4 is other specific types include monogenic diabetes syndromes, cystic fibrosis related diabetes, and diabetes caused by certain medications or health conditions. Now, sometimes our health also can contribute to diabetes. Medications that we take can contribute to it, and all these other stuff that they name. Now, symptoms of diabetes increased thirst and hunger. And not saying that, just because, I'm thirsty, it's hot and I'm thirsty, I'm a diabetic. No, you don't, it has to have more than one symptom. Okay. Frequent urination, even though that is also associated with hypertension. So don't get it twisted, because when you have high blood pressure, you tend to go to the bathroom. And remember, King Joseph mentioned that, or either Queen Dr. Doris. Unexplained weight loss. You're losing weight, but you don't know the reason, because you're saying, okay, I'm still eating. So why am I losing weight? But it has to be more than one symptom, because sometimes you just lose weight, and you have to know your body. Once you know your body, you know if it's a concern or this is just normal for me. Fatigue, feeling tired and restless. And sometimes we can have some of these symptoms, but if you do, it's not bad to go and check. And you can have your monitor, your blood sugar machine at home, and you can do it yourself. You don't have to be a diabetic to have a machine. These are things for us to check our health, to have things at hand to check ourselves. And then if there's a concern, or you see there's something going on, then you go and visit your physician. Blurred vision, slow healing sores. That's even a sign, because something takes more than a week to heal, then something is not right. And frequent infections. Those are the symptoms of diabetes. Now, the causes of diabetes, could be genetic factors. My mom or my dad had diabetes, or it runs in the family. That can be a cause also. Now, your autoimmune system, type 1, we talked about type 1 diabetes. So that the body attacks the insulin producing cells. And then insulin resistant, that's type 2 diabetes. Hormonal changes during pregnancy, that's gestational diabetes. And certain medication and medical conditions. And of course, lifestyle factors such as poor diet, lack of physical activity. Sometimes people feel, well, I walked to the store, or I walked up my stairs. That is not enough. Your body is a machine. And so we need to treat it, just like your car need tune up, oil change. Sometimes you said new tires, and deep cleaning, or whatever you want to do to it, but you make sure that your car look great. You got to make sure that you're great, not on the outside, but also on the inside, because we don't have radioactive eyes or microscopic eyes. So we could just look and say, hey, my liver not doing good. I got to check that out. We don't. It usually is when a problem occurs, and then we go to the doctor. And sometimes they don't see it right away. You go back and forth till somebody catch it. But it's not immediately. And sometimes they just go by some of the symptoms that are known to them, and then they prescribe without getting to the root of the problem. And that's why maybe 4.2 million deaths in 2019, because it never got the root of the problem. or we wasn't educated enough to say, you know what, there's other option. Let me look into that. Let me research. These days we have a computer, we have our cell phones, we can go all over the world just from our living room, from our bed. There's no reason for no one not to be knowledgeable in today's time. Yesterday, yes. Now, medications that may cause diabetes. There's glucocorticoids that's commonly used to treat inflammatory conditions, and medications could be like prednisone. That's just an example. And then the thiazide, the diuretics used for hypertension, like hydrochloride. You always see that with your blood pressure medication. Sometimes they mix it and put it all in one, and sometimes they give you it separately. Okay. The beta blockers, that's for heart condition. And that, of course, is metoprolol. Statins to lower cholesterol, like atorvastatin. A typical antipsychotics for mental health disorders, like olanzapine and the clozapine. So look out for those peens. And then they have the antiretroviral therapy, that is for HIV and AIDS, and the immunosuppressants such as tacrolimus and cyclosporine, especially after organ transplant. All these medication may, I don't say they cause it, but they may cause diabetes. And normal glucose range, usually like fasting blood sugar, that means before you even have a bite to eat. The range of your blood sugar, if you have a machine at home, a glucometer at home, is 70 to 99. I remember when I was in this 6-week program, learning how to eat God food, I had to take my blood sugar before I eat in the morning. And I had to take it 2 hours after each meal. But the morning one tells you where you're at. It actually tells you how your day is going to go. And that is normal. For pre-diabetes, the range starts 100 to 125 milligrams. Okay. And for diabetes, it's 126 and higher. I remember sitting with a colleague one time in Orlando. We were having lunch, and she just started talking like crazy. And I was wondering, like, why she's saying, ask her. And what she was saying, ask me, telling the other person to ask me. I really didn't know what she was talking about, but I didn't know she was going into a diabetic coma. And she was sitting right before me. That was scary. Thank God somebody know better, because I didn't know better. I didn't know anything about people just sitting there going into a diabetic coma. So thank God we was in the hospital cafeteria, so it was easily to get her to some emergency help. But that was scary. People can be sitting right before you and going into a diabetic coma, and if you're not aware on the symptoms or what's going on, sometimes they can die right there. It's just like a heart attack if you don't know how to give CPR. And that has to happen in the first like 3 minutes, I think, before that person flatline right before you. So diabetes is not a joke. And then you have the post-prandial. That's after the meal, actually. They have the big word for it. And that's less than 140 milligrams. That is considered normal. So you eat and you check your sugar 2 hours, your blood sugar 2 hours thereafter. And if it's 140, that's normal. When it becomes abnormal, it's 140 to 199. That's high. And anything after 199, 200 and higher is diabetes. My ex suffered from diabetes himself. And sometimes, in the morning, he already started the level bad because his diabetes was already at 200 in the morning. And because he doesn't know how to manage it and not eat the right things that he's supposed to eat, no matter how much you tell them, he his blood pressure is always high, you know, and that's not good. Then, of course, there is the medical part where you go to your the health, the what you call laboratory, and that's the HbA1c. Now your doctors usually check that in a average of 3 months just to see how your blood sugar is if it's staying normal or it's mostly high, and that will tell you. So now when you do that lab test and it comes back 5.7%, that is normal. If it come back 5.7 to 6.4, that's of course you're pre-diabetic. And 6.5, that just means or higher, you are a diabetic completely. You have diabetes. Now, how to check your glucose level. The blood glucose meters is basically a finger prick test that provides a quick blood sugar reading. And when they told me, well, Jack, you have to do your blood sugar, and I was like, oh my God, I hate those little pricks. I hate them. I don't like them. They hurt so bad. But it didn't hurt that bad at all. And I got you can put the range of how much the little needle will go into your finger, so it's guided, so you don't have to take the whole needle and stick it into your finger. So it wasn't so bad at all. And then they have now the continuous glucose meters, which you wear on your arm. They're worn on the body to track glucose levels throughout the day. And then you got the A1C test, which is conducted by the healthcare provider to assess average glucose levels over the past 2 to 3 months. And you also have the oral glucose tolerance test, which measures the body's response to sugar intake. So there's different little mechanism now that you can use to monitor not only mostly the glucose level and the sugar intake, the response of the sugar into the body. So I think that's real important. Also, natural remedies for managing your diabetes. First, of course, dietary changes. You got to emphasize on whole foods. And I know some people say, well, it's expensive. But it's expensive also to buy bad and eat it when you know it's bad. And you expect God like a magician to turn it to good. So what is bad and what is good. Even some of the good is bad. So you got to be careful and you got to know your source, and you got to ask questions. You have to have high fiber fruits high in fiber. Some people don't do fruits at all. A lot of Caribbean people, sometimes I say, but where's the vegetable? They don't care about the vegetable. They just eat the meat and the carbs. They love carbs. Macaroni, rice, and potato salad. All three of them on the plate. You could see if you go to a function, you take a little dab of each. But no, these are full portion, over portion, you could say, on their plate. Sometimes I say, you're going to eat some of that later? It's too much. Vegetables, and not those canned vegetables, full of sodium. You can look at it and read, and probably other preservatives to keep it on the shelf. So the best is fresh. And sometimes you could get away maybe with frozen, but I get fresh in College, Georgia. Even if I have to eat kale every day or whatever, string beans or whatever they may be on my salads, I'm good. And whole grains and lean proteins. And it doesn't have to be meat because other things consist of protein. And according to Dr. Sebi, he don't even see why we need protein, but it's there. They say it, so that don't mean you have to eat it. There's other ways to get protein through your nuts. The potato is has protein in it. Your chickpeas have protein in it. So if you're so some people are really, oh my, I gotta have my protein. I gotta put it in my smoothie. I gotta. Let me tell you, there's foods with protein. You don't have to eat meat to get your protein. Then there's herbal supplements like fenugreek, cinnamon, bitter melon may help manage your blood sugar levels. And these are herbal supplements. Then there's physical activity that we all need. Regular exercise improves insulin sensitivity and helps maintain a healthy weight. And we all need that. It's not obesity is also a problem in all over. I can't say America, but America, oh my gosh, yes, it's really bad. But you know what? The food is getting to go all over, and people are obese everywhere. I'm telling you. And they don't realize swollen ankles, um, protruding stomachs. No, that is not healthy. That's a time bomb. You're a walking time bomb, and you don't never know when it's all going to fall apart, blow up. So get your physical activity in there. I don't care if you got to walk around your yard every day. I don't care if you have to go up and down your stairs. I don't care if you have to sit in a chair and do some yoga exercise. Get something in. I used to tell some of the patients when they come into the clinic, I say, I can't do this. I say, well, sit in your chair, move your arms, take your legs and take them up, take your foot, put them, let them go up and down, swing them from side to side. You're doing something. It's better than nothing. And again, stress management, you know, practices such as yoga, meditation, deep breathing can help reduce stress, which may positively impact the blood sugar control. I remember when I was at the hospital with my dear sister, and the doctor said, your mind is in what you think. And I was shocked because I never heard a doctor speak like that, you know? So we got to get that stress out of there. We got to stay positive. We got to do the things that will help our health, give us that longevity that we want to be around, to help others, to our grandkids, or just enjoy life itself, So let's take care of ourselves. And hydration. Drinking sufficient water helps maintain the blood glucose balance. So these are the natural remedies for managing diabetes. And now things what we should avoid. Excessive intake of sugary foods and beverage. A lot of people, I see people that are diabetic. Let me tell you, they still be drinking sodas, eating all the pastries. They go to Golden Corral and they eat their heart out. They're not thinking about the diabetes. They're thinking, look, I can still eat what I want. But when you start losing limbs, your toes, getting ulcers, and all these things that come with diabetes, blindness, even blindness comes with diabetes. It's really serious. So, and I like, oh my God, look how they're just killing themselves. And maybe they're unaware, but I know I work in a clinic and I did a diabetic, I was like a consultant for the diabetic patients. So I made up this survey so they can fill out when they come in and I could talk to them and so forth. And if you teach the people how to help themselves, then they can at least have the opportunity of doing so to some extent, if it's just taking the time, to help. Next thing is processed and high carbohydrate foods. You know, all those processed, when you go in the supermarket, you see all them cold cuts and all that mess right there. That's processed food, full of nitrates and nitrites. It's not healthy whatsoever. A matter of fact, they start turning green and different colors. And I'd be like, well, why they don't take that out of there? It looks so, it doesn't encourage you to buy that. But nobody is paying attention. It's almost like their mind is not their own. Uh, anyway, and then sedentary lifestyle. Your lifestyle plays a role also. So things that we got to look out for: excessive alcohol consumption. Some people just love to drink. And every time you see them with a cup in their hand. And diabetics, you have to tell them the starches that you eat is going to turn into sugar. The alcohol that you drink is going to turn into sugar. So when you say, well, I'm not eating a lot of sugary stuff, no, the things you eat in the carbohydrates, when they get into the system, it got to be breaking down. And so it turns it into sugar. Smoking, nothing. It's already full of chemicals, and then we enter that into our body. We already got an issue going on, sometimes more than one, and we're just harming ourselves. Self-destruction. But there is prevention. You got to maintain a healthy diet. Focus on nutrient-rich foods. Reduce sugar and processed foods. They're not that important. Growing up, we didn't have all that processed food to eat. We had our grains, our barley, or oatmeal, or cream of wheat. You might get a boiled egg, and then you have your meal. You got your little fruits. You're drinking lemon juice, not no sodas. We got to go back to the Garden of Eden. We are going, there's growth, but you got to be so careful because our Heavenly Father said there's good and bad in everything. He never omitted anything. He said there's good and bad in everything. So there's good and bad in food, just like there's good and bad in people. There's good and bad in the herbs. There's good and bad in everything. So if we just stay on our Heavenly Father words, we will make the right decisions. We will do the right things to the best of our ability. We're not perfect, but I know we can strive to be like Jesus. I definitely know that for sure. Regular exercise. It's not hard. I ain't say every day you're going to get it right. Every morning I get up, and not every morning I do it. It's some mornings I like, okay, I don't feel like, or it's raining. I find an excuse. But I know I didn't walk on Monday and Tuesday, but Soul Sister gonna get up and walk on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday before I go to church. Because I know I can do it. I take my two dogs out, and I like one of them because he is so great at walking, because we do that. Me and him always walk before I got my second dog. So he will walk, and I like the fact because he helped me to get around that field faster, you know? And I do 15 laps every morning, on the mornings that I choose to do my walk. But it's 15 laps. Get out there, get your exercise. You don't have to do 15. You could do 2. You could start with 1. But you will challenge yourself and say, you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to do 2. The next day you push yourself. And if you stop, you're going to have to start all over like it was the first time, because it happened to me. I can tell you because it happened to me. So get your exercise in. Get your sun, because when you out there taking that walk, you got so much benefits, natural benefits from the earth itself. You get fresh air, you get to sweat, and you get your vitamin D. And you get to look around at God's signature all around you. What other better way to get some exercise in? We put ourselves on the back burner, but we, like my father used to say, Jackie, get to the front. Get to the front. So let's put ourselves first. Always think of ourselves first. It's not being selfish. That's self-care that Dr. T talk about. Let's get it in. Weight management. Oh, I said aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate physical activity most days of the week. So you don't have to do it every day, but you choose the day that you're more able to do so. So it won't be like stressful or oh my gosh, I got to do that again. No, it's supposed to be fun. Or get a membership at the Y, because you have a variety of things there and you can get into any. I was a membership. If you can't afford it, write a letter. I wrote a letter and got a discount. I used to pay $35 a month. Somebody hit me to that, and I did it, and it worked. So you could do that. And this helps when you weight management. Another thing, weight management, maintain a healthy weight. Don't wait till you see, oh gosh, where did that weight come from? You have a scale in your house, get up on it, manage, see what's going on. You ain't got to do it every day. Okay. You see your stomach protruding or bloating, you say, hey, something is up right here. Let me check that. Let me see what's going on. Always be conscious of yourself, of your body. Get to know your body. Because when you go to the doctor, they're going to ask you questions about your body. And if you can't answer them, then he already know that you don't know nothing about your body, and he could tell you anything. And you no comprende. Okay. Next one, because maintain a healthy weight to reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes. Okay. Avoid smoking and excessive alcohol. They can increase the risk of diabetes and the complications that comes with it. Do regular checkups, monitor blood sugar levels, and undergo routine health screening every year. Do your health, well, I see some, as you get older, they don't even recommend a healthy checkup anymore. But that's more reason for you to take control of your health, because there's a cutoff. The system has a cutoff where, okay, we ain't got time to do no health check, regular health check. They just wait for you to be sick. Okay. But you don't want to wait till you get sick. And that's why you got to take control. Focus on type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is a largely preventable and manageable condition. Lifestyle changes such as maintaining a healthy diet, regular physical activity, weight management, routine health checkup are crucial. They sound simple, but even the simple things we can't do at times. In some cases, medication or insulin therapy may be required. Of course, because if you can't do the things to help you manage your diabetes, then of course you got to take the medication. You got to take your insulin, because you don't know no other way, and you're not looking for no other way. So then medicine has to become your food. And in conclusion, diabetes is a manageable condition with proper lifestyle adjustments, natural remedies, and when needed, medical intervention. Understanding the different types of diabetes and recognizing symptoms early and taking proactive steps to maintain a healthy lifestyle can significantly improve quality of life and prevent complications. So, not saying anyone on here have diabetes, but you might have friends, and you know that it can become a health issue if we don't do the things that we need to do. We don't want to fall into that category ever, not even me myself, because I have seen people suffered with diabetes. And I know, you know, Oh my gosh. I see people come before me, and then before you know it, a couple of days you hear they're gone. And they've been suffering with diabetes for years. Diabetes is not the end of the world for anyone. Our Heavenly Father, and I always have to go back to what He say. The herbs is for the healing is the tree in the garden with the leaves. It's for the healing of the nation. And He didn't put us down here with nothing and say, you take care of yourself the best way you can. Not our loving and Heavenly Father. You can't find a better Father than that. So let's take care of ourselves. Let's do the things to prolong longevity here on the earth so we can live the abundant life that God has ordained for each and every one of us. And let's be here to help the people that less fortunate that we can help when we get the apples, or even before the apples. You can do these things already. So I thank each and every one of you for your listening here. I hope this information, this overview of diabetes, have been of value to you. And I thank you again. Thank you, Dr. Derrick, for allowing me to speak on this platform. And remember, my name is Jacqueline Warner, and love you guys.
All right, all right. Mercy, mercy, mercy. Awesome, awesome presentation, Queen Jacqueline Warner.
Thank you,
Listen,
Dr.
that
Derrick.
was a full course on diabetes. You don't need to go on YouTube to try to find or figure it out. I'm telling you, the specialist has given you the full overview and a few examples of diabetes and what can be the result and what can happen, etc. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen
You're welcome,
Jacqueline
sir.
Warner. Any comments, any questions, anything to divulge at this time for Queen Jacqueline Warner? Anyone? All right, wonderful.
So I just want
All
to
right,
say,
Queen Theodore, go ahead.
well done, Jackie. Good presentation. And as Dr. Derek says, we don't need to research any further. Information was quite clear. So it's just for us to adjust ourselves and take heed as to, you know, what we can prevent. And as you
Yes,
said,
sir.
type 2 diabetes is curable just with change of lifestyle and stuff like that. So many of us probably have been going through that aspect of it, but there is hope at the end of
Amen.
the tunnel. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Queen Theda.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, Queen Theodore King. I really appreciate. Prevention is better than cure. My great grandmother Dingy told me that when I was a little boy. And so please take heed. Prevention is always better than cure. The hospital and pharmacists and doctors, they always want to administer the cure. But listen, if you prevent, then you don't need a cure. If you prevent, you don't need the cure. All right? And it is possible to prevent. Again, it is possible to prevent. All right. Thank you very much. Any 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 other comment? Any other comment? Any other question or anything that anyone want to dive? All right. Wonderful. So everybody is crystal clear. All right. Wonderful. Thank you all very much. All right. Moving into another quick section of the program. We are just going to look at any discussion. This is a time for any discussion. If you want to talk about for those who listened to Ash Mufari today. He did come on today. And so if you want to listen to hear what Ash Mufari said, um, anyone.
Yeah, let's hear that, Dr. Derek, because I missed it. I wasn't
Peace,
on.
blessing, enough love. Okay, no, I'm asking for those who listened or hear it. Anyone
Oh,
want to have a discussion or anything? I can maybe say a few things that did go down. Um,
I mean, I could go and look at it later too, so it's not a must.
All right. Okay. So anyone have anything? It's not just zooming in on just one thing. Any discussion on anything? Anyone?
I guess Mr. Ashbrook was just assuring us that he's working on our behalf just the same. And, we're to
Mm-hmm.
continue, be patient.
Right.
It's going to take some time, but, there's, as I said before, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
He is not giving up on us. He's not giving up on himself. He is pressing forward, and that's a good sign, or a good thing to hear, that he's not giving up. He continues to work. It will take a little time. We just have to, wait on the process.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. All right. Thank you very much, Theodore King.
I
Um,
would like to say something, Dr.
yes, go
Derek.
ahead, Queen
Yeah,
Dr. Nadu.
uh, thank you to have this conversation because few days, I, I mean 2 weeks, we start having heavy conversation on different platforms about the security of our company on passive. And there's a lot of doubts. And people are saying that uh, we are doomed and nothing will happen. Ash is blocked by SEC, and now he cannot afford to convince them for anything. So what we need to do is to convert and find another solution. I'm glad he talked about something like that, that we need to wait. We don't know where people are getting information from, but the good thing is that he has people like Mary Regamo and Chris Johnson and so many other that he didn't even know about who are loyal to him. So we need to keep that faith so we can find what he promised, and he's here to stay. He will never give up. And if something will happen, he had his head up to let us know. Thank you. This is what I want to share.
I just want to say, piggyback on what Dr. Nadu is saying. Um, you got to on passive is so different from any other ecosystem out there. There's ecosystems, not a whole lot, but there's ecosystem out there that you have to build, and there's ecosystem in passive that's already built for us. That's the difference right there. This one is built for us, and I think who said it on the webinar? I think it was Dr. T, that we don't even have to do much, and yet we will get so much. It's just like the word where God said we do so little, we do little, but we can get so much. We do little and God take care of everything. And that's what Ash is coming in. Yes, it might take a little longer. Yes, Just think of all the money. And Dr. Derek always say we don't even know the the intensity of the money that Ash has to put out, the employees he got to pay without us even putting in a dime. He gave us back our money. He gave us back our money. So that right there shows integrity and that he's trustworthy. Yes, might take a little time, but like it take you 40 years on your job, because a lot of people bragging that, well, I've been on my job for 40 years and 30 years. And where did you go? At least when I'm passive, it ain't gonna take you 40 years, and it's not gonna take you 30 years. So and all this time, when people are complaining and saying this and that, they got to check out themselves and say, are we prepared? Are we prepared when I say, "Hey, it's time to go"? Are you empowering yourself? Are you getting yourself ready? So, do you have your goals written down, your dreams, and all this stuff? Are you really ready? Do you have things in perspective, like Dr. T said, decluttering your house? All of this is preparation. So don't wait till when Ash say go, and then you can't go because you don't know which way to go. And that's why these webinars is so important. Number one, I don't go all over the place, but I learned a lot on between Dream Team and Deep Dive. And I have the mindset, and I know that I have to be prepared when I say ready to go. And I'm gonna look for things to empower myself along the way. I'm just not gonna be sitting like a sitting duck. You know what I mean? You got to empower yourself. If it's programs you need to learn, or you need to know about accounting, or you need to know this, or you need to know what about your taxes, how I'm going to pay. Is it going to be a LLC or a corporate or whatever? All these things should be going through our minds. These are the things we got to take care of ourselves. Ash is doing his part, and we're not putting in a dime for it. So those negative is always going to have negative people in the earth, because God said there's good and bad in everything. And that's what hold Ash back, because he bumped into some bad in the first place. And he learned not to be so trusting. But he got to get all his stuff now back together again. He can't tell us everything like before. He maybe told us too much before, even though when he wasn't supposed to tell us a lot, he was telling us just to make us feel secure and hopeful along this journey. And now, because he's saying nothing, people are getting disoriented. Well, let me tell you, when it gets started, and according to money don't come just like that. You gotta have to put something in to get something out. So all that stuff you gotta prepare. You say, well, let me put some money aside so when the stuff starts, so could be fully in. All these things. Don't worry about Ash. We need to worry about ourselves. So thank you, Dr. Derek, for allowing me to speak on that little chuka chuka there.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Thank you very much for responding in kind. Really appreciate. Um, First of all, we have to understand the value of what unpassive is about. The value. It's not any little dibby dibby corner store. We're not understanding. It's not a little dibby dibby corner store or a little, you know, push up the shutter and we come and work for 9 to 5 and we go back home. No, this is a major international um, situation we're talking about. And like everything else, people got jealous. So much so that even within, people were fighting. People who were on the executive body fighting and hiding things and sabotaging things and all of those things. And so, even though Mr. Ashmafari tried to be very transparent, very forward with everything, and look at all of us as is equal. We, a lot of undesirables try to pull him down and try to pull everything down. If we look at O'Connect, let me just come out and say this piece. If we looked at O'Connect, which in similarity, Zoom um, is in similarity to it. But check it out. When you talk about hosting a group of 10,000 participants on Zoom, we're talking about $6,000 a month. Let me say that again. To, to host 10,000 participants on Zoom, we are talking about 6,400 and something dollars a month. To host the same 10,000 on O'Connect, we were talking about $125 a month. Now, just by that figure, we already know that there will be outside tug and war, outside resistance, outside problems that kind of a scenario will incur. 6,125. $6,125. All right? So there's no question about it. When you look at emails like Gmail and Yahoo and AOL and Hotmail and all of these, we're talking about, first of all, we're talking about spam free with Omail. You're going to have outside problems and outside fight. When you talk about um, um, all of these emails services, you're also talking about limited storage as opposed to Omail unlimited storage. Free, not that they're unlimited storage, you won't have to pay, but unlimited storage Omail free. When you talk about um, other link shorteners, there's maybe a $5 or $2 or something like that a month. But trim free. And it goes on and on. So we already incur outside resistance. Already incur that. But then when it comes to inside resistance, when the company is very fair, very true, very open, to every person, especially those that are employed in the varied unpassive offices. But people still within these offices were cruel, wicked, and just downright stupid. Because there's no way a person is going to treat people on a whole with such love, transparency, and integrity. And you try to fight against such a person. That don't even make sense. But I guess if they fight against Jesus himself, then you can't fight against anyone. And so to bring all of that back, because it takes a lot of coding to develop these things. And so to restore them because of the internal damage. This is not a bomb going off and explode and blow up the place, or what have you. No, this is calculated, malicious persons from within targeting the system from within. And so Ashmufari, one of the things that he said today, earlier today, because of the value of what we are doing, and of course the ability has increased, positively, but in conclusion, we are not just there. We are not sitting idle. We are more confident that we are going to bring you things better than you think. I can tell you that now directly, and it is what supposed to happen a while ago. Unfortunately, some corruption happened, but don't worry. Don't worry. Unlike other business and unlike other people, he could have easily filed for bankruptcy and reclaim some of that money and call it a day and go about his merry way. Maybe even richer than how he is today. But that's not that's not where he's from. He's a person of integrity. And so if you don't understand that, then I don't know how to explain that. He continued to say, I'll tell you everything. You don't have to guess. He's going to tell us all who was involved. And, maybe our eyes is going to pop open and say, what? That person was involved? Yes, that person was involved. Right? But please understand, we have a dream. Ash has a dream, massive dream with massive ambitions. And so, one of the things that he wants to do is to lift up humanity. Not just at 10,000 people or a million people, or no. He wants to lift up the entire humanity. So he wants persons who are of like-minded. That's all. That's all. He wants person to be like-minded that really look at the condition and the situation that we are in life. That is only a few percentage of persons, maybe just 2 to 5% of persons in the world that is living a relatively decent, financial, free life. And so that's all, we say it, people want to do it, people would like to do it, but then a lot of people don't have the means to do it. That's the next thing. And who have the means don't care about you and I, really and truly. Don't care about the 95% of humanity that, sleeping on the park bench, taking shelter on the bridge, and all those things. Doesn't even matter. So, let us understand it's a full restoration, and that takes a little time. All right? Not going to take the 4-5 years to where we come to now. It's not going to take another 4-5 years. Obviously not. Because we're not starting from zero. We're starting from, just like if you were to be building a table and it take you about 8 hours to reach to a point and something happened on the table, this was destroyed. You're not going to take it that 8-9 hours again to reach to that point, because you kind of have the know-how and you kind of have the experience and all of that, so it's going to take you a quicker time to reach where you reach. So it's the same thing. Let us just continue to be patient, and let us just roll with what we are doing until things move back into momentum. I thank you all very much. Any other comment or any other questions or discussion or anything? Anyone? All right. I see my good friend King Dr. Paul in the house. Don't know if he want to maybe say a few words at this time.
No, Dr. Derek, I'm just very happy to be here and to hear about diabetes. And I look forward to be uh, addressing you next week.
Okay, wonderful. Yes. Uh, thank you very much. King Dr. Paul is going to really be gracing us with a presentation next week, Thursday. So please come out. We are going to start on time, just like how we start on time today. We'll be starting exactly 7, and so as long as life spare. So please come on out, and this person that you are looking at, King Dr. Paul Hissin, is a well-renowned person in so many fields. I can let you know from the get-go that he was actually born in the Holy Land. Where Jesus Christ born. So if you need some precise information on Jesus' birth and where he was born and the stable and all of that. This is a man to check with, right? Because the same place where Jesus grew up, that's where this young gentleman was born. All right, so and so he has been many places, got degrees left, right, and center. University of Rochester, you know, the the Mount Sinai Hospital in New York, and many places. He 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 does a lot of research. And when I talk about research, I'm talking about major official research in hormones and insulin, estrogen, and crystal in breast cancer and all these things. So it's not an ordinary man you're really looking at right now. He's a big time person in the medical field also. All right. 4-year program at Mount Sinai Hospital and all of that, studying clinical biochemistry and toxology. Right. So it's a heavy hitter. So please come out next week, Thursday, and you will hear a major presentation that he will actually be giving us, building resilience against stress, anxiety, and depression. And he has a book also available on Amazon, of which will be in the flyer come next week. So please take a look at his book. Um, and and thank you very much, Dr. Paul Hissin, for gracing us with your presence this week. Really appreciate.
Dr. Derek, if I may add a couple of things,
Sure.
what I'll be talking about next week is, as you said, how to build resilience against anxiety, stress, and depression. And we know stress and depression and anxiety affects a lot of people. So it's really a timely topic. But the most important point is how to build resilience. And that is through total transformation. And I'll be talking about what you were talking about today, uh, and some I think last week about the mindset. How important is the mindset to have the right mindset? How important is to be able to communicate with your conscious mind where you do the thinking, and how important it is to understand the subconscious mind where you can replace old habit and limiting beliefs. And once you understand this mental resilience, and I'll be talking about also how to build social resilience, and that will be the total transformation, which are all inner, it's all within you. And once you build mental resilience and social resilience, you'll be unstoppable. And then you can build resilience against stress, anxiety, and depression. So if you are so full on the inside, mentally and physically, then you can build resilience against any threat, any external challenge. So I think it will be very powerful. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much, King Dr. Paul. All right, go ahead, Queen Violet.
Finally, sorry, when I got in the first time, I didn't get any of those things on the bottom so I could talk. Otherwise, you would have heard me a long time ago. Sorry. Yes, the gentleman that's going to be talking next week um, is amazing because they've kind of found out that your illnesses are about 95% created by the way you think. And most people can get out of their illness just by changing how they think. And I am trying very hard to learn that. And I just watched a whole bunch of uh, podcasts about autoimmune system and how what we eat really screws up our body, and how we can, like Jackie was saying, she said, what you eat. And I'll tell you something, going to the doctor, other than the fact in Canada, doctors don't cost anything. Well, at least in Ontario. And most doctors. There are some that OHIP doesn't cover. But uh, you can't go to a neurologist, not a neurologist, a naturalist. You have to pay for it, and they're expensive. And so getting the natural answers, unless you do podcasts like I do 24/7, you end up going to a doctor and they're just out to their pay. They get paid only if they can get you to do pills. In fact, there is a guy here. No, I think he was in the United States. He became a specialist where he did operations on brains and things, and he lasted about a year. And he said, I can't do this anymore. He says, I'm charging people 100, 200,000 for this, and I could just tell them how to eat better and it would fix it. But he can't do it. He's not allowed to. So he just quit his becoming a doctor, and I watched his podcast, how he was thinking, what am I going to do now um, to make the kind of money that I was making, kind of thing. And he was almost in tears that this happened, that the medical system is like that. And he says, I still do operations, but like I don't have a practice where people come to me, because they would come to me and I could tell them what to eat to fix whatever it was that he would have to do on his brain. And they, but he can't. He's not allowed to. So that was kind of tough. And I went to a neurologist Friday, and I need to exercise. Apparently, my legs are really skinny below the knees, and that's why I don't have strength to go up the stairs. And so she's sending me in. She asked me if I was claustrophobic, and I said, "You're sending me for an MRI." And she says, "Yes, I need two." And I said, "Well, when I get in there, I just go to a beach somewhere and I'm fine." I go lay on a beach, I don't know, somewhere in Florida, somewhere in the Mexico, wherever. And as long as I don't open my eyes, I freaked out when I opened my eyes last time. But yeah, so they're sending me to all kinds of doctors. But I think I can fix everything if I just go for half-hour walk every day. Or um, online on YouTube, you can get what do they call it? Chair. I don't know if it's yoga or chair exercises. And you just sit on a chair and do these, lifting your legs and lifting your arms and making circles and stuff, and you get stronger. Anyway, I'll stop talking. I could talk all night. Okay. Have a great night. Thank you.
All right, wonderful, Queen Violet. I think you look like you want to say something, King Dr. Paul.
Oh, I can say a lot of things, but I'll say only a couple of things. he triggers me to say these things about the thinking. Andrew Carnegie in 1903, he was the richest man in the world. And he said, so richest man, that means he knew something. He said, the creator has given you control over your mind. You can get everything you need. All you need is take possession of your mind and direct it towards what you want. All you need is to know what you want with clarity. 20 years after that, Napoleon Hill, after interviewing the richest Americans, he said, what the mind of man can conceive and believe, the mind will achieve. Next week, I will show you the formula, how to do exactly that. And that is the subject of the Mental Success Formula book that Dr. Derek was talking about. It is unbelievable. There is not what the mind conceives, what you think about comes about. Second, about the medicine. And this is based on Dr. Carolyn Leaf, she's a neuroscientist, and Dr. Deepak Chopra, which I hope everybody knows. They said about 98% of the diseases are created by us. It is due, and we, with using lifestyle, diet, movement, exercise, we can repair all of that. Let me give you an example. A few months ago, we went to a cruise, and my cousin was with me, and his knee was hurting him. He couldn't walk. I told him, Sam, why don't you take turmeric? It's an anti-inflammatory. I take it. He did not believe me. I'm his cousin. But then at home, somebody came to visit him, and he's an electrician, and he was telling him how his knee is really hurting and so forth. And the electrician told him, you know, I had the same thing, but it's all good now. He said, what did you do? He said, I took turmeric. What I told him. So my cousin started taking turmeric, and in about a week or 10 days, the pain is gone. And then he went to the neurologist, the neurosurgeon that he had an appointment with. So he asked him, the doctor asked him, well, Sam, how was the knee? And he said, it's all good. He said, what did you do? I did not give you anything yet. He said, I just took turmeric. So the doctor who knew my cousin, he said, let me tell you a secret. We are not allowed, turmeric is not something that is prescribed. We are not allowed to prescribe it to you. That is what Violet said. We are not allowed to prescribe it to you, so I couldn't prescribe you. I couldn't tell you to take turmeric. But that is exactly what I give my family and my friends. This is why my family and my friends don't come to see me. Yes, I agree with that. They are taught to just give exactly what they have been taught for the last 50, 60 years. But now, especially in year 2016 and 2017, where now we know how the brain patterns are changed every time you speak, something that is called neuroplasticity. Your brain, by the way you feed it information, by the way you feed it food, plant-based diet and everything, you can heal yourself. You just need how to do it. These are exciting times with much more exciting. We know so little and our body is so amazing. There is so much more to know. It's very exciting. Thank you.
My. Oh my goodness. And thank you very much, King Dr. Paul. Tell you, if this is just a foretaste of what you'll be getting next week. Thank you very much, Dr. Paul. So please invite your friends, invite your neighbors, invite everybody. Next week is a treat. Not only us as Unpassivians, invite everybody, anybody, everybody. This is going to be a treat next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Deep Dive Globally Changing Lives. Because that's what it is all about, changing our lives, changing our lifestyle to the better. All right? Because as I always say, um, the quality of our lifestyle determines the life that we live. So if the quality of your lifestyle, even though you might have a lot of money, but if the quality of your lifestyle is going to the hospital 3, 4 times a week, then if that's what you want, all right, fine, good for you. All right. But I don't want that to be my lifestyle, really. So, yes, go ahead. Go ahead, King Dr. Paul.
Ladies and gentlemen, we should always eat what Dr. Derek ate when he came to my house. My wife was ready to cook for him and for Miriam, but he changed everything. He cooked his food and we all ate his food.
Oh, yes, sir. Because I tell you, it's just good, and we thank you definitely, my good friend there. Wonderful. All right, so come next week. I did already post a link in the chat for his book on Amazon, so you can start perusing it or looking at it or you know flipping through it or read it, whichever one. Right. So it's in the chat. You can take a look. And thank you very much for showing up, um, King Dr. Paul. All right, so we're going to kind of bring the curtains down. So we're going to just ask Queen Jacqueline Warner to give her final.
Yes, thank you so much, King Dr. Derek. Appreciate you allowing us to speak on our platform. And my final words: managing diabetes requires a holistic approach that combines healthy living, education, and consistent medical care. By making an informed choices and staying proactive, individuals with diabetes can lead healthy and fulfilling lives. And like we know, health is wealth. And without health, we won't have any wealth. All the money that you make will be spent on they said a hospital bed is the most expensive bed on earth. And it is. And when they cannot get any more, they send you home to die. So let's take heed while we can. It's just like our word. If we don't be obedient to it, we have to pay the price. Well, changing our lifestyles, doing the things that help us to live the ordained life that God has given to all of us, ordained to all of us. The only way we can do it is being obedient to ourselves. When we learn the things that we can do to make the changes, to help us to make the lifestyle changes that we need to make, let's not take it for granted. Let's not, like we used to tell our children, oh, it goes in one ear and it comes out the next. If you have to stop the other side of your ear up, do so. so you can retain the information and so you can use it as needed, or you can help someone else. That's what it's all about. When God say love your neighbor as you love yourself, when you love yourself, you're going to share. Sharing is love. You hear King Dr. Paul? He's willing to share his information with us for us to help ourselves. Where can you get it for free but on passive? So we don't have to worry about Ashmafara because we have amazing family, an amazing platform, an amazing journey. And if we want to be part of that journey, we got to, like Dr. Derek always say, the mindset. That's where it starts from. And it can end with that. The mindset can keep you alive. It can heal you. So let's take heed. I just have a word of encouragement. And it says, the love of God toward the fallen race is unfathomable. It is without a parallel. This love led him to give his only begotten son to die, that rebellious man might be brought back into harmony with the government of heaven. So let's keep the focus. Let's keep the faith. And let's make the necessary changes that we make so we can live the abundant life and that we could help each other and also Ashmafara to continue on this amazing platform, this journey called Unpassive. Thank you so much for your listening ear and enjoy the rest of the webinar. Thank you to Dr. Derek and all the other leaders and all the brand ambassadors.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Queen Jacqueline Warner.
You're welcome,
Really
sir.
appreciate, really appreciate. Anyway, moving right along, we know that work and no play makes Jill and Jack dull. And so we are going to be moving here on the webinar platform into our after party. So
Okay.
mostly for the persons on YouTube, because we'll be shutting down YouTube at this time. So we thank you, especially those on the YouTube channel. We thank you for being here with us and for blessing us with your presence. For those who will be here watching, for those who will be watching the recording in the future, we thank you for watching it. Please subscribe so that you will be able to get a notification. When you click notification all, then you'll get a notification as soon as we put the next stream into motion. So you will have it before the stream is actually live. It will notify you. We thank you very much for viewing. We thank you very much for being here, all our kings and queens. And we thank you very much, King Dr. Paul, for gracing us with your presence this week. For those of us who so desire, there are other sister platforms that definitely have our backs throughout the week. Every day at 1 p.m., we know we have the twin Yvonne, Queen Dr. Yvonne and Queen Yvonne Finn, that takes care of that program every Tuesday, which is every weekday, sorry, every weekday, um, Monday to Thursday, every weekday, which is one global movement at 1 p.m. every weekday. Come Sunday, you have the Dream Team, and I think it is King Dr. Paul, again, King Dr. Paul 360 degrees that will be coming on that. He's actually from Lagos, and he'll be presenting on that program on Sunday. And then Monday, bright And early in the top of the work week, we have none other than our favorite Queen Miriam Edwards with Mindset Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So please enjoy your weekend, and thank you all very much for making it deep dive, globally changing lives. And we now close the YouTube. Thank you for on YouTube for joining us. And we now turn it over to Queen Dr. Nadu and our after party. Over to you, Queen Dr. Nadu.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. Now we are going to the second part for the